Steve Jones here for Rhode Island Free Radio, online at rifreeradio.org. In studio with me is local musician and multi-instrumentalist Joe Sabourin. Joe, if someone's hearing your name for the first time this evening, listening to this podcast, describe what you do.
Everything. No, what I am primarily a bass player, playing both electric and upright, depending on what people tell me to do. But I also write music and release it, which means I play acoustic guitar, electric guitar, I sing, and I even do my own backup vocals, which is very difficult.
The upright bass, as a rockabilly fan and a psychobilly fan, an instrument near and dear to my heart. And I tell you, you look around, it's not like it was in the 90s. Every band had an upright, and it was really popping for a while. Kind of starting to be a little bit of a dying instrument. What kind of response are you getting, being one of the few younger guys out there on the upright?
It's really interesting because I'll tell people that I play upright, and then people are very surprised that I own one. I rent it, which is sort of what tells you the state we're in right now. There aren't any good cheap uprights out there. You know, you can go out and you can buy, a Squier bass guitar and make it sound good, or a Squier electric guitar and make it sound good. But to get a good sounding upright, you kind of have to shell out a bit of money. So that's really what it comes down to is there aren't a lot of guys out there who can afford one.
And not to get too music dorky, if you will, but transporting said gear is really, and I've seen a lot of psychobilly bands, rockabilly bands out there, and that's the first thing they'll tell you is that transporting the upright is a pain in the butt.
I actually just bought a car, and I had to go to the dealership with the upright and my amplifier.
That's a great idea.
In my old car to make sure whatever I was buying, the upright and the amp would fit in. So that was a fun adventure, pulling up with that in the car. But you really have to take that into consideration, and you also have to take into consideration where you're living.
Right.
For a while, I lived in a place with lower ceilings and had to kind of sit down to try to practice. So it's definitely an interesting challenge.
I largely gave up playing the drums for many years because I was living in an apartment, and nothing your neighbors want to see less than their new neighbor on the second floor apartment pulling in with a set of drums.
I live on the third floor, and it's been a real challenge trying to release music for a while because I have to find good sounding software drums, because on the third floor in an old house in New Bedford, you really can't play drum set without waking up everybody in the neighborhood.
So you, like I, a big supporter of the local music scene. Any bands out there right now you'd kind of like to give a shout out to, local bands that you're digging?
I am digging on and playing all of the time the new Copacetics record. Mm-hmm. The steel pan player, percussionist who I work with, Aaron Cody, actually plays with the Copacetics. But I had the chance to meet all the guys, and I work with, or I'm going to be working with Nick, the alto player, in another group, and they're really awesome guys to hang out with, and they're wicked talented musicians. So I've been listening to them a lot, and then a band that I just started working with, but they've been fairly established, is a band called Gumption and Glory, mm-hmm. Which is Ray Gennari from Bad Fish and Roomful of Blues, mm-hmm. Is the guitar player and the vocalist on that, and that's been fun to play and fun to listen to.
So in just a little bit, you're going to play some tunes for us, and then most importantly, everybody needs to stick around to the end of the podcast because Joe is going to tell you about the bevy of shows he has coming up. But we're going to get to that in just a few minutes.
I can never tell if you're with me or against me. I won't even know until the story's over if it turned out how you planned. we'll win or lose? And why were we even fighting? And for who? Was it worth the war? Did we get what we came for? Do you even know? I can never tell if it's worth all the waiting. Guess I just can't see why you were never there for me. Why come back at all? I don't wanna see the thing you wanted me to try my best to be. That's where I make my stand, where I let go of your hand forevermore. Why should I let you choose? What is it to you? Who I will become? I walk right off the edge and fly right back again, straight and true. I can never tell if it's worth all the waiting. I guess I just can't see why you were never there for me, and why come back at all. This is not an apology from my heart to you. I won't pretend at all. This is not an apology from my heart to you. I won't pretend at all. I can never tell if it's worth all the waiting. I guess I just can't see why you were never there for me. Why come back at all? I can never tell if it's worth all the waiting. I guess I just can't see why you were never there for me. Why come back at all? Why come back at all? Why come back at all? Why come back at all?
Tony Jones here for Rhode Island Free Radio, online at rifreeradio.org. You just heard I Can Never Tell. Joe, tell us a little bit about that one.
So this is the first tune in a long while that I've been super excited about. About 2 weeks ago at this point, my drummer, companion, friend, steel pan player, Aaron Cody, was picked up to go on tour supporting the Gaslight Anthem with a band called Sammy K. And so I've kind of been alone for the first time in about 3 months as far as musical endeavors go. And I started writing music a couple days after he left for the tour. And I had been writing on and off for a while since high school, but this has been my most productive burst in quite some time. And this tune is actually the first one that I've felt comfortable releasing, that it's had the quality to go out as a full band sort of single. And so this afternoon I released the tune out to the internet. You can find it on my Facebook page or on my Bandcamp, which I believe if you search Joe Hobbit Bass, you will find it's either that or Joe Hobbit Sabourin. I'm sure if you found a podcast, you're capable of finding my Bandcamp page, but you can get it there. I'm going to be releasing a couple more tunes over the course of the week leading up to the shows this weekend. So there should be 2 or 3 if you listen to this on Friday afternoon.
And we're going to have another live cut from Joe right now.
playing a show at the place down the road, and the moonlight was shining in my face. Well, she was standing there in the front row. Well, she was singing and dancing and feeling alright. And we danced all night to a summer song, while the winter winds blew down the door. And then she turned and she smiled at me, and she went back to her home in the sky. Walking around in the cold. The next time I saw that gorgeous face, she was leaning back with a cigarette in her lips. But she was smoking and laughing and feeling alright. And we danced all night to a summer song, while the winter winds blew down the door. And then she turned and she smiled at me, and she went back to her home in the sky. The days were cold and the nights were long. The day that she came to my door, so I grabbed my bag and my guitar, and I followed her out in search of more. And we danced all night to a summer song, while the winter winds blew down the door. And then she turned and she smiled at me, and we went back to her home in the sky, way up high.
Information is free.
The law.
There is hope.
There must be some kind of way out of here, said the joker to the thief. Well, there's too much confusion, I can't get no relief. Businessmen, they drink my wine, climb and dig my earth, and I'm